Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this fine world, and welcome back to Friday Night Community Race here on the Free Enterprise channel. I'm Infinite, and I am joined by the wonderful Solaris. How are you doing, Solaris?
Hey, Infinity, I'm doing great. Looking forward to the return of our community races. And tonight we've got a good one for you. It is one of the old ones, but evolved a little bit. It's ZZ1. So this is a flag set that features a lot of variability and could be a lot of trouble for our runners, or it could be very kind. We ran one on Monday, and we'll have one here today. I'm pretty interested in seeing how this is going to go.
Well, I am definitely liking the fact that we have a Cecil start, so you know. But is vanilla agility on? I don't remember. That's one of the things I forget about this flag set.
I believe it's off. I'll go look that up.
Oh,
to confirm
no,
it's off.
It's off. Oh, okay. So interesting. But yeah, looking forward to having a Cecil early means that you're going to have guaranteed one melee fighter and a very good one at that. So, but look at these objectives. We need to do 4 of them. So having to defeat Odin, Elements, Optimum, and Mullen Z, and also get Sid. So, because we're just about doing a boss and character hunts this time around, nothing too major in that regard.
Yeah, so big things to note about this flag set that are all kind of harkening back to the influence of this flag set, which is the original First League tournament flag set. This is Distinct 5. There are only 5 characters total that can show up in this seed, and there are no dupes. So Cecil is one of them, Sid is another, and then there are 3 unknowns. And to kind of replicate where it used to be, you'd got the Crystal, and Crystal was literally go mode. There are random either boss or character hunts. And with boss hunts, we've got 4 boss hunts, which if I'm a runner, I'm thinking that there's a lot of volatility now in this seed. I feel like with more character hunts, you're going to get those more up front. I mean, maybe not, but there's less of those spots that are known, where these bosses could be literally anywhere. Yeah. We know Sid's around, but besides that, it's sort of, we'll see what happens.
And 4 boss hunts makes you think about whether you want to do things like the package check or whether you want to go up giant, because two bosses could be there. We also have to remember the hidden 5th objective of D-Mist, because no 3 key items is on, so D-Mist could be hiding in a rude spot as well.
Yep, definitely, and D-Mist could be gating something required. Now, it's one of those things, at least where it's 4 of 5, means that one of these objectives you don't have to complete, so for a check to end up being hard required, it would have to sort of gate 2 things, like a D-Mist that gates a character and an objective, or that gates a chain that leads to 2 of these things. So it could happen, but yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so even though we only have four races currently on stream, PK4787, Tibalt, Podrick, and Cappy, we have a lot more races coming up doing off the mainstream. They are restreaming themselves, but looks like we are about to be underway. There's 11 runners, and at least we see a white mage. It's not everyone's favorite white mage, but we see a white mage.
Yep, we see a white mage. We see a Dr. Dialogue that's going to be at the Bygone spot. So notable for the future, if we get the Baron key, one of those boss spots is not the one that we need. Porum is one of our 5 characters, which honestly, this flag set, any white mage will do. Any white mage will do, especially since the only starting kit that you get, which again kind of harkens back to before there were starting kits, it's the Kata kit. So it's just 3 life potions and 1 star veil.
Yeah, exactly. And given that we know that we go have a Cecil and a Sid, like having a white mage caster able to cast Berserk is actually huge here. Cappy looks like he is currently checking the D-Mist, whereas a whole bunch of other runners are actually losing Baron in. It makes sense, and seeing an Ogre Axe, that's huge. That's going to help us with the early game once we get Cecil online, or if we find a Sid, because that is a very good early game item.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Evil Wall is at Baron in 1, which is good to see it there, because Evil Wall can be very much a problem in the wrong boss spot, especially the Baron in 2 spot. You'll see this looting in Baron because this is T standard, meaning that there is no waiting to gear that you can find or items that you can find. Anywhere that you loot has the same chance as anywhere else to be anywhere from tier, I believe, 1 to 6.
5. It's tier 5.
5, yeah. Thank you for that correction.
That's right. But we just saw Cappy check the demon spot, found it's the Kaipo guard, so we don't need to fight that. Tybalt checked the waterfall and find that Baigen's having a shower. So glad to see Baigen down on Earth as opposed to being on vacation on the moon, at least.
Also good to find Star Veils and Thor Rages immediately. We do have a hook route possibly looming in the future. It could be a Kainatsu. Those Thor Rages, of course, are very useful for dealing with a Kainatsu at a high hit point spot.
That's a fair point. It's an interesting. It'll be interesting to see at what point do people decide to go through this hook route we got as our starting key item. Project looks no. Go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to make a point that Project checking the character in the bed. It is another Cecil, so Sand Ruby is not our way to get to a Sid. Well,
but our runner's kind of going in all 4 different directions, and it makes sense that somebody goes to check the hook route. I am curious about this too. It's sort of like the loot is the same quality anywhere else, and the character is very likely one of any other. It's probably more likely a dupe than not, but you do get the chance at the shop here, which it does have 2 tier 5 consumables that had sirens and hourglasses. I just put those 2 words together. New consumable item, sours.
Sour glasses of I don't know. What drink would you have that's sour? Like something that's probably adult, I guess.
Something that goes with wine, I guess, huh?
yeah, probably, yeah. But no, looks like both Cappy, PK, and Tybalt are all going down the hook route. Tybalt finding the trap chest, finding the Stalemate chest, and it's going to reset out because, as good as Cecil is, can't really take on the that punchy spot, those punchy fights, as a Dark Knight.
Yeah, no, even if he had bought hourglasses, which often makes that trapped chest fight kind of safe, it's a little too early in the game to deal with it in an efficient manner. The other thing I like about this check early, one, they see light swords and ninja swords in the weapon shop here. Light sword relevant for Cecil if we don't find a better weapon for him. You can know to save up to buy that weapon if you want. The other thing that's going to be good to know is the Rubicant spot. The Rubicant boss spot will know up front, so that can really kind of play in your mind of how you want to do routing and what equipment you might be looking for, depending on who that boss possibly is.
And it's also very important since we have 4 boss hunts. It's actually a reasonable chance we have to go for the hook route anyway, since there's 2 bosses here. Ooh. So, and it looks like it's some dark imps. Well, we have a young, so that's going to be very good since we managed to loot a cat claw somewhere along along here. We also know we have hourglasses, so that fight is actually free. It's just a matter of who is at the king queen spot.
Yeah, really good to know, and this is a character that can join our party. It's not a dupe. And I think that's a Thunderclaw that Poijak just picked up in the Eblin weapon shop here too. Of course, Yang being our resident punch mage, very good against certain bosses that have those elemental weaknesses.
And also, Thunderclaw also very good against machines. So so that's also important knowledge to know. But yeah, I think the big thing is also finding a cat claw just makes that it's a young with 2 cat claws. Oh wow,
2 of them.
Well, good thing we're not. Even though there's no dupes, we're glad we're going to keep Yang for the rest of the season. That he's ready to go.
That's really huge, honestly, for a couple of reasons. Yang loves strength and agility, and Cat Claw has 99 accuracy on it. And when you wear 2 claws, you kind of average the 2, but 2 Cat Claws, same number. Put him in any slot, he's gonna hit.
Yep. Yes, exactly. And it just gets him online. I'd feel confident enough with 2 Cat Claws, and I think we also looted a black shirt somewhere along around as well. I'd probably be confident to just rely on, even though it's early game, rely on Yang to do most of our punching for the early game. Now,
exactly.
we're about to go to I was going to say, we're about to go to Hobbs. Maybe there's a Sid there. The character Hobbs might be a Sid, and he can also do a whole bunch of carrying with an Ogre Axe. So this is proving to be a very kind ZZ1 seed at the very least.
Yeah, I agree. This is a kind start. The Dark Knight Cecil Porum combo is a little weak without like a heroin robe or a really good bow. There are a couple bosses on Ordeals that could be particularly troublesome, like that ever-looming back attack Val. That would be pretty awful. But yeah, Yang really needs levels to scale, but the Cat Claws will at least let him do enough, right? Like just enough to get through these early game checks. Yeah,
exactly. Even if in a very, very rare scenario we actually do get that Val and back attack spot, it'd be an awful fight, but we do have access to the kick, which actually can get through Val's defenses. So that's to say, it's not a fun fight to do it that way, but it's a doable way. It just also will take about 10 years, roughly.
Yep, Darkwave can do the same thing, except against Val, you do lose a little bit of health while doing Darkwave, so he often just kills himself. But Darkwave also punches through accuracy, or punches through evasion. I think we're getting our first check, the top left here, of the football defense fight. It's a Sparkle, yeah. It's Plague.
Yeah, the one flaw we actually do not have access to the Darkwave because there's no J abilities, so...
Oh, you're right about that.
Yeah, so normally with J abilities you have access to things like the Cry ability from Porum, the Power from Yang, and Darkwave from Cecil. No, we don't get those, so you know, because I think that was implemented after ZZ1. But yeah, I can't help but notice that Resident Antline faded. PK has faded Antline.
So PK has to be very careful here. Plague, early game with a fast anchor, can be rather dangerous. I'm not sure he has enough damage here.
Yeah, I think he's going to fall a bit short.
Spot does have 1800 health. No, unfortunately, taking a wipe. Wouldn't be surprised if he leaves entirely. Otherwise, he might re-anchor and come back. Yeah, we see him flying up and head somewhere else.
Yeah, just needs a couple levels. But yeah, he's also faded Antline, by the way, in case it's not obvious. Because of course he would.
Gotta stick to your memes, right?
Yeah, it's true. Alright, meanwhile we have D-Lunars here in Antline, so that's three lunar bosses we've seen so far. And it looks like he's about to find out the bad news about what happens when you aren't able to one-shot our friends here.
Yeah, the D-Lunars are jerks. Any fight command done against them, and normally Yang would be able to power punch against these, but like Infinius just said, we don't have access to that command. Oh wow, PK getting the double Lilith fight? Was that a Siren? Might want some experience here.
I think.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, okay, popping a Siren, looking for some experience, really useful for Yang, and he has bombs. Yang just needs to not die. Anyways,
that's probably why he was set before.
Yeah, got it. Oh, that's really clever.
Yeah.
It's a ton of experience early game.
Yes. It's probably the best way to get a whole bunch of experience going, just to know, because you know your Yang is going to be your main source of damage anyway, so it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I'm doing another one here. I love this. I think there are more. He has the Fire Claw. Now they do. I was going to say they can hit pretty hard, but Porum's wearing something that's shrugging it off.
I think the wizard hack, because that strikes undead.
Huh.
Well, on Tibalt's side, after doing the D-Lunes, we got a Zeus Court, which is going to go amazing on our double cat claw Yang here. So that's you don't hate to see it, at least. And Cappy's also through by using a Stardust. So on for PK's benefit, that is a good thing to have faded, but you really probably wanted that Zeus Gauntlet. That is a tier 6 item, so...
Yeah, really, really useful for Yang, then later Sus will be able to wear it to good effect. Here's the Val. Now, at this spot, it's much, much kinder.
Yes,
than the back
very much
spot.
so. Because I'm pretty sure he just...
Not for a lot of damage, though. I don't know how many evasive defense multipliers Val gets here, but it's enough for PK to say, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a really good start.
You know what would help a fair bit there? Well, it's actually two things. One, as a few more levels after doing things like your standard routing, like the Hobbs check and not ordeals for ball. The second thing is a Zeus Gauntlet.
Yep, that's fair. That's very fair.
Look, I cause it as I see it, okay?
I mean, to be fair, Hobbs and Fabul Defense do give a lot of experience. Even if that character is a dupe on Hobbs, if you're really hurting for experience, it's like 5,000, I think, which is a pretty good infusion.
Yes,
those double lists, I think, were 8,800.
Yes, that's still a fair chunk as well. So like, that's probably just as good as doing those bosses as in addition. But if your main damage dealer is young, you just want as many levels as you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see our runners here, really in general, with these early bosses, a number of them are like surprisingly rude in little ways, using our J items to really good effect to get through and punch through damage. Like we were trying to say about D-Luners earlier, they have a reaction script where if you physically fight them, they put up a wall and then bounce viruses off themselves, which in most places will do very lethal damage. So using a Stardust, for instance, against them, where they're split only at 1,000 hit points, is just a one-shot. So really smart use of what you find in the seed to get through fights when your party's power level is as low as this one is.
Yeah, and it's interesting how much for PK, so he knows that Val is on all deals. That's that's what your intended way underground. So, and you also have a hook. So, I don't know. It's actually interesting in the sense of like, what do you do what you should do next? Like, it's almost seems to actually just go through Baron in at this point and just see what's there. If you're going to commit to the Antline fade.
Yeah, but PK, seeing the writing on the wall, couldn't get through Plague, and instead of getting walled off from that spot and just keep throwing your head against it, pretty smartly just going to where a key item and experience are, because maybe anything here will help kind of get through those fights later. And then Baron in, it can be very dangerous, that second Baron in spot, but with enough defense, I think my concern would be punching through 3,000 or 4,000 health. It'd be
4K.
pretty dicey with this team, yeah. But it is an option. It could be a free fight, or it could be something that's not hard. It's just a battle of attrition. Yeah,
it's just part of the problem here is just that because you just have you have to play fight at a surprisingly rude play fight for Bull, as well as a fight at Val. Ooh, vampires. That's also a very good way to get through Val Valis. If you have more vampires,
really heads up game knowledge here by Tybalt, knowing that this spot does not have magic defense.
Yeah.
Vampire doing full 500 damage. And even Thor Rage is dealing quite a bit more than those punches are. With enough Thor Rages and Yang punches, I think Tybalt will get through this.
It might be a bit short because he only had one vampire, and we need to get through 2.5k. Yeah, this is going to take too long, I think.
Okay, yeah, and he just resets now. Very close, though. Very, very close.
Yeah.
I don't know how many Thor Rages he had.
Not enough is probably the correct answer.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cappy is trying to... Yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, when you buy Thor Rages, you don't think like, oh, I better buy like 20 of these because I'm gonna have to throw them at Val Valis at the first Baron, at the first ordeal
No,
spot.
no, you don't think that at all. You probably think you're thinking, oh look, we have a defeat Odin as our objective number 1. Like that's gotta be what's gonna be where it's at. But no, it's also kind of rude here. Sometimes any point in a storm, right?
Also, can we talk about Cappy's characters' names? It's just exclamation point, hi, hook.
Yeah.
That's so fitting right now.
I mean, Cappy's is the first of our runners through that plague spot in football, so maybe we might be saying bye hook in a second.
Baron King.
Well,
okay.
Don't hate
That
to
could
see
be
that.
No, that could be a 4th character. I don't know if Cappy picked up that Thunderclaw, but that Baigen spot with Dr. Dialogue, 3 of his 4 forms are weak to that claw thanks to being a machine.
That's true.
The Odin Throne could be dangerous, but it is something you could do, especially after seeing that Val, if you don't feel like you can get through it, is routing Baron into Baron Castle. Of course, it's very awkward because you want to get Cecil online.
I mean, there's also the other thing where you might just go through and do the Kanato spot, and that gets you your character. It also, and since hope maybe it's Vanilla Sid. That's also a potential thing that you can do there.
Oh yeah, sorry. Whenever I see the Odin Throne, I'm thinking of a throne, but the Odin Throne is after the fact.
Yeah,
it's like after he's already died.
I mean, it's given that we have the hook, there is a chance that the Odin Throne can have the Magma Key, but it's not our intended way underground. That would be considered an unsafe because who wants to deal with? I think it's like 20 odd K hit points in that spot. No thanks.
Yeah, it would have to be exactly King Queen Eblin, I think, to be doable right now. Even something hourglassable would be very slow to get through.
Yeah, it would be slow because we have, especially since we haven't found a black sword. That would probably be your way past that very quickly.
Yeah, the black sword has the swoon proc, which can instant kill as a melee attack if the enemy does not have the boss bit, which certain bosses don't, meaning that they're susceptible to stop, petrify, things of that nature. Instant death.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so as our runners are basically crisscrossing, trying to doing shopping checks and basically crossing ground that all the other runners have covered. Just a shout out to the back of office team. We have Crimson Avix doing the restreaming, and we have Joe Fuzz doing first time tracking. And so welcome to the team, Joe Fuzz.
Yeah, welcome, and of course, thank you for being here with me, Infinius.
It is my pleasure. It's always fun to do comms.
Yeah, absolutely. Tibble, very smartly, knowing where those vampires were for sale, I'm assuming they were for sale because we saw him come back to that Val fight and just throw a bunch of vampires and get through that. So we're getting our first sight at the Milan dance party, who's just like, hey, we're late. But we're here. Yeah.
So a bit of French vanilla there. We're still going to see. We're not going to see Marlon go. We'll see our Marlon Sprite fall down the ravine, but he's just going to play about his body instead of just disappear.
The one slightly awkward thing about this fight is that the magic attack here is actually somewhat threatening. So the lit 1 counters might hurt. I'm not sure how much, we'll see. But meanwhile, the rest of our runners, have converged on this ordeal. It's the place to be. This is where you turn Cecil into a really, really useful character, and Val so far is the main one blocking the way. Yeah, given that Tibble has bought like a massive stack of vampires, I feel like it's not. This is not going to take too long for him to get through. Off memory, I think Marlon has
two something hit points to trigger the script, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and whatever Porm is wearing here is pretty resistant to this magic, so even if the rest of Tybalt's party members here go low, Porm will be able to keep the party healthy. And the vampires as well.
Yeah.
So I expect him to get through this.
Yeah. Because if we tried to use vampires on the actual Marlon Z instead, that'd be a bad time. Let's say.
Yeah, that would be very bad. That would drain your own health and give it to Marlon Z. I have also made the mistake, by the way, of using a succubus against Marlon Z.
Oh,
that does not work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Marlon Z
that
will take
work,
your MP.
Yeah. But no, Tybalt is now, with that stack of vampires, is now through the back attack spot, and we're about to get our paladin online.
Yep, just one more fight to get through here. Tybalt wisely saving. There is a very low chance that this mirror room fight could be very dangerous. There could be Wyvern here. There could be... Oh, what else would be really bad? Actually, Wyvern's the only one I can...
It's just Wyvern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The alt gauntlet would be annoying. Actually, it's not. Sorry, it's the Fabul gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vanilla here. It would be annoying, but doable.
Yeah.
That fight, of course, being the fight at Fabul Defense in the vanilla game where you fight Officer Soldier, and you go through like the same 5 fights every time. Normally it's the alt gauntlet, but that didn't exist when this flag set was a thing, at least what this is based off of, so
correct.
It is not us today.
So 2 big things here. One, we've got okay, that's a free fight. That's a free fight here in Kalbrenna, so we actually get to see kick being used as an effective thing to do. But so second, we just got the darkness crystal from going up ordeals. So, well, now we get to see some interesting choices here. But yeah, Tybalt is our first of our restream runners. Brew Ordeals has our paladin. So, interesting to see where he goes from here. Like, it's actually very tempting to just go straight to Moon at this point and just see who the character is, since it's a gated key character. So if there is an edge or fruit in the seed, that is probably where they could be.
Yeah, and if nothing else, the Moon will give us a few things. It's a shop. It's a character check. Could be the Cid, or it could be our unknown 5th party member.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you can even peek Cave Bahamut, see one of the bosses there. And if you wanted to pass that, you could also peek Moon bosses in the Lunar Subterranean. Likely won't see that one, but at least Cave Value is kind of tempting to go look at with access to exit.
Actually, there's one other option we have available to us, which is kind of neat. If we have a spare couple of hourglasses, we can actually do the hairdryer chest, which is a very good source of experience, as well as getting a good chance at a good weapon for Cecil, like a crystal sword, things like that.
Yeah, that's a good call. And on T standard, the trap chests, which that's the one trap chest on the Moon cave system, I forget what that's called. It's the same path. Weighting. Yeah, the Lunar Path, thank you. It's the same weighting between tier 5 and 7, so it could be anything. It could be something very useful. It's either 5 through 7 or 6 through 7. It's one of those.
I can't remember that detail. I have to look that up. But yeah,
it's definitely unweighted though, so it has a chance of being something good.
Yeah, especially considering if it's
bells.
Oh yeah, so we could do warlocks. We have a rune axe from Tybalt's screen. You have a rune axe, so that's also an option we have. Yep. So now it's just taking an evil wall, and we just have Young give a good punch, and now to see what awaits us in spot 2 in Baron Inn. Well, this is Baron Guards. Yeah, free fight, because we know that where the other things are. We have an hourglass, and and we're through. We don't need to do anything else. We have a rune axe to get through this even quicker too.
Yep, these count as mage enemies, and the rune axe does, I believe, quadruple damage to mages, so they will go down rather quickly. Of course, the accuracy is only 60%, so like level 13 Cid might miss a couple times, but
yeah.
With the hourglass, they're stopped basically forever, so...
Yeah, we can just go get a coffee or something. And what we're seeing on T-Bot's side of the field is one of the upsides of having Porom as opposed to Rosa at this point. Porom gets Berserk way sooner compared to Rosa. So being able to having only done, I think it was just I think for T-Bot's just it's just what Antlion plus Ordeals. We've got Berserk already.
Just a ribbon for his troubles, but the fight makes sense to take at a Baron N.
And honestly, I would not complain about getting a ribbon anyway, because one of Porom's weaknesses when it comes to the Zeromus fight is that, well, she doesn't have a whole bunch of hit points. She gets, by the time she gets white, she'll have, what, 1600 or something like that? Ribbon will actually help a fair bit there, because that will help with her magic defense, which is that's going to be very important.
Yeah, and she does get good magic evade at those levels, but yeah, her hit point pool is definitely her main downfall. Her other main downfall is that she doesn't get the later white mage spells like Cure 4 until much later than Rosa does. But yeah, through normal routing, Porom will get Berserk normally by the time you're at Ordeals, so that is definitely one of her best assets, kind of when it comes to that.
Alright, I'm now going to see what T-Bot does, because he is raising the Lunar Whale. It's going to be very interesting to see what his plan is once he's up there.
Yep, meanwhile, PK is through all of Ordeals. Poydrak will be through Ordeals shortly. Yeah, the Big Doll was kind of summoned there, but that spot doesn't have a lot of health. Big Doll goes down. And looks like Cappy is going up Ordeals, looking to get through as well.
Yeah, so Cappy's been doing a fair bit of armor shopping. So this young is equipped with double cat claw, a bandana, a black belt, and a thick Zeus gauntlet. So he's hoping that should be enough. I imagine he's hoping that that's enough multipliers to get through.
Yeah, and if you're not aware of Val's magic defense at certain spots, which I certainly was not, and even now am not, you might not think to try throwing spells at her at this spot or using J items. So I haven't been watching Cappy, so I'm not sure, but without that knowledge that you can do that, it does make this fight quite a bit more difficult. Getting out some damage early before she turns into tornado form, though, also good here.
That is a Palom. So we now know our entire party. Yeah, we now know our entire party. I actually think seeing that Palom there makes me really want to do that Lunar Path fight now, because that'll basically help him get online a lot sooner.
Yeah, there won't be a slingshot available. That needs 5 characters, but getting him up to Virus or Quake with that infusion of experience would be really useful right now, especially with that hook route looming.
Well, I don't know. Hook. Yes, that's true. With the hook route looming, although
the King Queen might be dangerous. We know, we know the upfront fight is not bad, or the second fight.
Exactly. Because that would be the only concern I would have. But mind you, also, if you're going to go for the hook route anyway, you also have the Mad Ogre chest that's in upper tower. So that's also a good chunk of XP. We've got Ogre Axe, so we got Ogre Axe, Rune Axe, so it's up. No, we have plenty of ways to get through that fight really quickly. In a pinch, we also, I think one of our characters found a Charm Claw, so we can actually give that to Young, and he can actually do a whole bunch of damage to those Mad Ogres as well.
Yep, and Charm Claw has bad accuracy on it. It's only 50%, but when you pair it with a Cat Claw and average them out, it's still good enough.
Yeah.
Something an enterprising player can do here, if they have some mute bells, I would think particularly, or even just the hourglasses. So you take we see Tybalt taking the hair dryers here, finds them right away, and then with just maybe this and a set of warlocks, or you can go to the second lunar subterranean and just walk around and find something you can hourglass. I guess I don't have coffins though. The point I'm trying to get at here is that if you get enough levels, you can start to try to just take moon fights. And if your gear is good enough, if your levels are good enough, or maybe you find a free fight here or there, it's kind of a Hail Mary play, but if you end up finding the magma key, you might not have to go through the hook route at all.
Yeah, that is one option. I think the one thing that would temper that feeling from my perspective is that I guess given what we know, we as viewers know, most of the free fights are actually gone. Like we've already seen the Kuiper guards, we've already seen the Baron guards, we know where the Dark Imps are. We've seen Kalbrenner. There's only like one or two free fights that are left. So I think that'd be a very risky play.
Yeah, that's true. And it would definitely be risky. It would be the like, I'm in a big group race and I need to make a play to try to like snipe a win and maybe get lucky kind of a play. Probably one I wouldn't lean towards. And maybe if I felt strong enough. I'm not sure I would here, but yeah, it's an interesting one.
Well, Project certainly looks like he's up to something because he is going down the lunar subterranean at 30 minutes. I like it.
Yeah, and the other thing you get to do by doing this is even if you don't find a fight that you can take, you do get the knowledge of the bosses that are here. And with 4 boss fights that we're looking for, and we've seen none of them yet, there's a good chance at least one of them is here on the moon.
That's true. I guess the other upside is that given that we have, again, the Rune Axe, we're just doing King Ryu's. Okay, that's fine as well, I guess. I don't know, I think I might have actually considered doing Warlocks because that'd be a bit faster.
I think Pojak just lost his Hourglass user. That was unfortunate.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so if you use the item and then that character gets knocked down, the item's gone. And I only saw one in his inventory, so he's gonna get Palin back. We'll see if he wants to go back underground and try that again, or if he'll just dip out this time.
So important notes on Tybalt's side that we have Quake on Palin, but we also got a light sword from it. So I guess you can get tier 5 from the trap chest, but it's still worth the attempt.
Okay, so tier 5, yep, still worth the attempt. There are a lot of items in that pool that Cecil particularly can make really good use of. There's an Avenger. There's, of course, the Crystal Sword, the Excalibur. A Light Sword, I mean, they're available to buy in the Cave Eblin shop, but it's also 66,000, so, I mean, it's not the worst thing to find.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's a whole bunch of sirens if we need to do a grind. So that's good. That's still good free XP. Like that was worth the Hourglass, especially if we need to go for the hook route anyway. We have to go hop back.
Tybalt giving us a K value check. We see leg. I believe this could be Rubicant or the Elements fight. It's full leg or quarter leg, and Tybalt's gonna check.
It is full leg, huh? Interesting. This is interesting because this is an interesting fight to try and take actually. On one hand, it's kind of free because the fighters aren't going to do that much. The real threat here is actually once he gets. I don't think the Glade's going to do that much either. The real threat actually be the once he gets into his cloak and does the punches. Those are going to hit like a Mack truck.
Yes, this is tied for the highest attack damage in the game. This spot.
Also, Glad also just one-shot Porum, but we all expect Porum to get one-shot there, so, you know. But no, heads-up play from Tybalt, has an Ice Claw available, knows that that Ice Claw is going to bypass the cloak, so this becomes a kind of a free fight.
Yeah, the one concern is if Yang gets punched down. Yang doing a lot of work here. Porum gonna die to this counter fire too.
That's unlucky. That's unlucky. And I think it's out of life potions as well. Ooh.
Gonna try to clean it up with Cecil.
But he's not back road, I don't think. I don't think I've found a boat at any point, so I think actual hope Quake is good enough.
Meanwhile, Pojak is taking those King Ryus, PK is taking the Hairdryer chest, everyone playing on the moon today, and Cappy through Ordeals, we'll see where he wants to go after this.
So it's actually interesting, because like, Cappy is also the one with the Baron, as well as PK are people with the Baron key, so again, it's going to be interesting to see whether Cappy decides to go fight the Dr. Dialogue.
So with Tybalt's fight, on the one hand, it was kind of lucky that Rubicon's double punch both hit Palom down dead, but this might be the time to give up. We'll see. I haven't been counting, but this spot does have a decent amount of health.
Yeah, I think I'd probably just use it at this point.
Yeah, if he's been counting really well, then he knows that Rubicon's really low. But yeah, 100, unfortunately, not really enough here.
No, I probably just use the vampire at that point, because yeah, that's a reset. Because you know that the vampire is what's coming up next, and the glare is coming up next, and you couldn't survive it anyway.
Yeah, that was a really fair attempt.
Yeah, it was worth it. Like, you take one shot at it. There was actually a good chance that you were going to get through that with Ice Cold. Just got unlucky with the first punch taking out Young, because he would have actually been through if that didn't happen.
Definitely. I think the way, if you were to repeat that to set up, if Porom has Blink, you'd lean on that, and then just blink up the Young, make sure he survives, and then start him up.
That's okay. You still have the reward of having done a whole bunch of stuff anyway. So like you have a whole bunch of XP, so you know that this Silk Rat is it's not as horrifying as it once was now, especially considering we know that we get to outclass the Rubicon spot anyway. Yeah,
the Dark Imps. Yeah, definitely. And even if the King Queen spot is a rude, punchy boss, if Cecil has decent armor, or if Porom has Blink, or if we have enough damage to get through it quickly, it really won't be that bad anyways.
Yeah,
maybe Quake does... be the worst thing to see, but Quake does a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. Quake solves a lot of our problems here. Like, I'm trying to think of what would be awful that... I think, like, maybe... If this ends up being Wyvern, then... If this ends up being Wyvern, that's interesting, right?
That would be very weird. Yeah.
Because you know that's not intended way underground, and that means that from the viewer's perspective, that means that it's for wall defense into Baron Castle, and whatever that leads to.
Yeah, and it would have to be from the Kenatsu throne, not the Odin spot. Odin cannot gate your underground access. But yeah, Wyvern being one of those few bosses on the unsafe list, if Wyvern is in the way on the hook route, then you know that that's not your intended way to get underground. That means a magma key is hiding somewhere. So it's one of those things that's like, well, if you can get through it and then you're already there and the Dark Imps are kind of free, I don't know, it's really interesting.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's such a curious one. What the play ends up being. It's like, I think I'd probably just sit one shot. I'd probably sit through and just go through hook rat anyway. Or it's actually Marlon Z, and yeah, this is actually required anyway.
Wow. So this is really interesting because I'm watching Poydrak set up. Okay, Poydrak's leaving. I was wondering if Poydrak was going to keep going on the moon. Going on the moon and then finding the magma key and then never doing the hook rat would feel pretty bad knowing later that a required boss is here. Thankfully, at least it's like a 4 or 5 kind of hunt, so you could miss the Malon Z and get your go mode somewhere else. But yeah, this, again, it punches hard, but we've got a Light Sword Cecil. We've got Palom. You can't Quake this spot. I know you can't see it, but that Mylon Zed's actually floating by like 1 pixel. Mylon Zed technically floating. Look,
sometimes you just want to show off, right? Like, just you have the ability to levitate slightly, so it's just hover like that little bit sometimes, just to flaunt it.
If I could, I absolutely would. But yeah, Mylon Zed is down. These imps are going to get Hourglass, so Tibble is going to get through and get underground.
Yeah, and getting underground at 40... This is a very random way to get underground at about the 42-minute mark, but no, you're still happy to see that.
I like this comment from chat. Cut to Mylan Zed being held up by obvious wires. I'm a flying enemy, everybody. Behold. I can. That's my headcanon now. He's just being held up by wires.
Yep. Makes sense. But yeah, PK being one of the two runners we have on Restream that have the Baron key is that with all these others just going to dive it. And this would be very interesting if this ends up being the Magma key, because that means that PK is not going to get this Marlon Zed objective at all. He's going to last location that.
Yeah, it also will be interesting if this leads to more chains, this Baron key. It could lead to Zot, it could lead to all sorts of things. It could lead to Twin Harp, where if you skip that chain and don't come back to Baron and end up going to the moon, that's a way that could kind of bite somebody else instead of, you know, your routing choice kind of going the other way that you were naming. But we'll see here. Always, the randomizer can always throw wrenches at you.
And what I'd say, Tybalt beating Rubicon at 42 minutes. How about that?
Yep, 42 minutes, hook route, pretty good time. Pretty good time to be underground. We'll get our check of the upper Babel, or the lower Babel, top of tower. That was a Dark Knight Cecil.
Well, okay, that was a one to free fight
spot, right?
A little bit, but if we have Cure Freeze, we should be able to tank. We have Young, who should have levels to be able to tank that, as well as Cecil. So, yeah, I think one Cure Free, if not two, should be enough to get through that fight pretty easily.
Yeah, and if nothing else, eventually Yang will just have the.
No, not my. No, Mega Sisters, my biggest nemesis, in a very bad spot. If we didn't have Quake.
Okay, this is one of those fights that you lose tempo very quickly. And what I mean by tempo is that if one of your party gets knocked down and this fight punches and casts a spell, I don't think the punches are going to hit very hard, but the spells might. 700, but Yang survives it. Anyways, if you lose a party member, it's easy to start losing multiple. I think PK is going to have enough, with Quake, exactly like you said. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's fine. It's just Quake is the big eagle. If you're here too early, that was also a very rude thing you probably would have to back out on. Always take multiple tries at, because you could ride on that Rune Axe doing enough.
Yeah, definitely. And if that Fire 2 had hit Palom, and if Palom had died, I mean, that's one of those moments where you could lose the fight. But that speculation doesn't matter. PK's through. Finds another Yang, which it's expected. We already know who all our party members are, except that Sid, who is somewhere. But we'll see what's in the Baron bin.
So normally you would, in the vanilla game, this is where you would get the Enterprise, but turns out we already have it, so we kind of have a different prize here.
You know, it took me over half a year to realize that free Enterprise means that you get a free Enterprise. The Enterprise being the ship. That just didn't that didn't click for me immediately.
Well,
okay.
Don't hate that.
I'll let you explain this one.
Okay, so in the vanilla game, if you're able to fight pink puffs in the one room that is on the moon, they'll sometimes drop a pink tail, and that pink tail gives you an add-on. If you go back to Earth and turn it to the tail collector that's just outside southeast of Silvera, he just gives you an add-on armor. And add-on armor is a very, very good piece of gear. It gives 15 plus 15 to all your stats. It makes your armor incredibly huge. Also gives you immunity to all fire, ice, and lightning. So yeah, that is a very, very important piece of kit, and that's going to help accelerate PK through the rest of the seed.
Adamant armor is good, y'all. It's stupid good. It's so good that we normally turn this flag off. But on this flag set, the adamant flag is not. The no adamant's flag is not on. So basically, we can get adamant armors. It could be from a pink tail. You could also get it from a tier 7 item yielding spot trap chest. So yeah. Pretty much trivializes all fights for that party member. They will take no damage, basically no damage, and they will be very fast and deal much more damage than normal.
So here's the question then. Given that you have an armor, I think this is what PK is about to do right now. He's actually going to go look at who's at the Odin's Throne, because if we give Cecil, this is why Adam Armor is also really good, especially when you have a Cecil in the party. If Cecil just covers the entire party, and we give him the Adam Armor, that we basically get to apply his defense to everything. So basically, he'll cover everything for 1 damage. So any fight that involves physicals is basically now free.
Yep, definitely. And I want to clarify, when I say like the Adam Armor is stupid good, I also mean stupid fun, right? Like we don't get to play with this armor very often, but when we do, and especially when you get to leverage it like this, it feels really good. Cecil being able to cover everybody here will be great, and then otherwise, if it's something that Cecil can deal with on his own, he finds a demist. That's interesting.
That is interesting and kind of awkward, because like you're kind of incentivized to berserk here. Like you don't really want to berserk here because you don't want to eat all those slow counters. But on the other hand, berserking is probably a nice way to get through this fight really quickly. So
yeah,
also want to point out. Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I should probably point out while in the meantime, Tybalt is going through the Gauntlet of Battles through Dwarf Castle and has picked up a Sid. So he has objective number 4.
Yep, that Sid is acquired, and kind of like we were talking about earlier, this is the Fabul Gauntlet. Could also call it the Vanilla Gauntlet, though that gets weird in my mind because we also talk about Vanilla as a location. So this is the General Fighters, the last 3 enemies that we saw. That includes a Water Hag. There's a Gargoyle somewhere in this. There's 5 of these.
Yes, after this one.
None of them have the boss bit. They share the health of the boss spot, and I don't exactly know in what exact way, because we normally don't fight this anymore, but my experience has been that it's very easy to get through at most spots, unless it's like crazy high health and you don't have like
hourglasses or
items
things
to
like
get
that.
through, like hourglasses or coffins. Yeah.
So this is going to be comical because this is the Golbez spot. That all those enemies are splitting 3,000 hit points. So like a multi-target virus or like a J-arm is probably good enough to get through this.
Meanwhile, Cappy is having kind of a rude time at the Maga Sisters here, and good thing, actually, I get a feeling Sandy walled that virus earlier just through the normal script. Coming in very handy here, a Charmed Cecil might finish his run here, and Mindy not able to hit either. Okay, looks like the wall just dropped. If he can kill... He's kind of got to kill these pretty quickly here. Wearing a rune axe, so pretty likely he'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
But this is the way that I was saying earlier, this fight can like run away from you very quickly. There's the charm.
That's a problem. Well, this could take a while. Because we're basically now hoping for, especially with double slow, we're basically having to hope that Cecil attacks himself and doesn't die in the process.
Yep. Meanwhile, PK is showing us how this demist fight, it's often free because of the time you get in Mist Phase to heal up, blink up, whatever, but it can just be very slow. Punching with Cecil and with Yong and viruses and quakes are your way through it. It's 20,000 hit points to chew through.
Yep, but yeah, Tybalt's through, got an arty bow for the privilege for his troubles, but still has objective number 4, which is probably the real prize here. Meanwhile, Podrick's just underground. Cappy about to get his pink tail.
Yep, thankfully Cappy made it through. Really good to know to be wearing that rune axe to make that fight a lot easier on yourself. Mm-hmm. Tybalt getting that good reward of the character, and it's decent experience. It's also 20,000 gold if you need the money. See where Tybalt wants to go next. I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it because? I think part of the problem there is that because you had the guards retreat, you actually lose some of that gold as well.
Oh, because of the split.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But yeah, we have a Tibble also doing going with memes. Has told us that our job for tonight is a bulldozer operator.
What are they bulldoze?
I don't know. How would you? I don't know. Do they even? Probably. That's a good question. Probably the tower, which is probably why he's out of a job, really, because like it's still there. Clearly, wasn't doing a good job of it.
Well, maybe it's all already bulldozed. You know, we've cleared the underground to make nice space for that tower. I don't know.
Yeah.
Chat saying rocks, all the rocks, but they're already. I guess you turn the rocks into smaller rocks.
Look, someone's got to do that very important job of turning big rocks into small rocks. Okay.
That's very true. That's very, very true.
But yeah, I think from Tibble's point of perspective, now I think we are now in a very interesting spot now, because now that you have the Darkness Crystal, you basically have a lot of bosses available to you, despite having only 2 key items off the hook and the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, depending on what's in the Fey March, there's 2 bosses here. There's the free key item, of course. That could lead to a chain that leads to progression. Yeah, a lot of your choices with the character found are going to be about the bosses and key item density. Like the Earth Crystal, that's 2 bosses.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Like finding silk webs as well. Yeah, that's like I said. This is like a very interesting spot for Tybalt, because Earth Crystal gives you Earth Crystal's basically going to be a pretty quick check. Unlike when we check the treasury, unfortunately, because sadly it's T standard, so it's all the same no matter what. It's just density. But I think at 52 minutes we're also not looking for anything, so that's not trapped anyway. So yeah, very interesting to see what the plan is from here. Well, there's a wyvern.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I was going to say the other thing the Earth Crystal gets us is a treasury check if you want to continue down memes, 1, I guess, but 2, chances at very good loot. I guess with
it's standard though. It's standard.
I guess it's just density, right? But yeah, otherwise, probably not going to see a treasury check now that I'm saying that out loud.
Yeah.
We'll set up Sheila 1 here, though. She very likely, well, not likely, she also could be holding a good key item for us.
Yeah. And Rudy's mum, after PK's got through that Odin phone check and getting an RC arrow, got the Luca key, which I don't know, I'm not sure if I would appreciate that much at this point, because you have to go through the hook rat anyway. Like, I guess from our perspective, given that we know where Marlon Z and Sid are, like it's the only value to me. I guess the boss spot's also relevant. That's 1 extra boss you have access to. But
yeah, it's the boss, and it's a chance at, well, you've got the Baron key. You're gonna get an Earth Crystal. It's really just Twin Harp and Package and the Tower key for bosses anyways.
Yeah, so
it'd be a pass, but yeah, it's a pass would kind of be a wash unless it's also a bonus. Yeah, Luca is one of those odd checks. It's like you really want to put it off if you can.
Yeah, it won't be too bad if once we get to Warp, because Warp will Warp also solves a whole bunch of our makes that less painful. But I don't know, like, I think given that this is a big multi-runner race, I'd actually just be tempted to given that we know where the Sirens and Hourglasses are, I think I'd just be tempted to just go to set up camp on the moon and do and do a whole bunch of King Ryu's and just face check from there.
Yeah, Cappy's showing us what is in the Staleman chest. It's just a coffin. The coffin we haven't found them for sale, so it could be rather useful. And yeah, so sirens have been found in Cave Eblin, along with hourglasses. And we have not found a lot of key items, so we're very far away from 10 key items. So yeah, in a big kind of group race like this, I could definitely see the mindset of just get sirens, grind a ton of levels, and then go just take the moon. Definitely on the table here. The other mindset you could take is being very thorough about clearing the earth kind of as efficiently as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and to be fair, both of these options that I propose here are valid options. Like, there's no, that's one of the things about about randomizers, right? Like, since we don't know where everything is, there's no essentially optimal route. We can only just guess at what would be good. And sometimes face checking moon bosses will work out. Sometimes face checking, being thorough and clearing the earth pays off. That's one of the joys of the randomizer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes we'll curse those boss hunts, where the boss is just like at the king-queen spot and you have a magma. You have a magma key, so you never did that. But I think kind of the joy also is that it's not like we're playing chess here. It's not just skill. Randomness is involved and is good and useful. I love comparing it to like poker or Magic the Gathering or any of those other kind of card games. Because you have a deck, but it's random. You draw random cards every time, so it's always different. So I like thinking of it kind of that way too. Like, at least from like the randomness perspective, I think it's good to keep that in mind. Because then also you can try to not be as upset, like if a loss goes your way, if you know that you just if you kind of know that you played well and maybe your checks didn't just kind of work out for you. There's always like room to improve, right? Like, don't get me wrong there, but sometimes you can kind of take solace in the fact like, well, I chose wrong this seed, and it's kind of hard to feel bad about that.
Yeah. Tibble doing the very heads up thing, because he from Sheila when we got the twin harp, and it's basically trying to magnetize everyone first before we head down there. But I think he's also about to do our treasury check.
Yep.
Full meme.
So, absolutely full meme. So, it's time for Rate That Treasury, chat.
Ooh, carrot. No, we take that carrot, right? We need to talk to the big chocobo.
The carrot might have been the best thing in that treasury.
There was a dragoon glove.
And there was a ninja hat, but that carrot.
Yeah, the carrot. No, gotta talk to big chocobo. We gotta give him our crystal swords.
But yeah, that's a big 1 out of 10 for me. But I fully appreciate it. And Tybalt going to check music. One of these checks that, when you have so many other things to do, you could put this off, but fully in for the music. I think Tybalt is a runner of the people tonight.
Yeah, and also it's important to keep in mind that Tybalt gets to also do the twin harp exalt check combo. So that's also quite nice when you get to do that.
It is very efficient, so if you're going to take the time to do both of those checks anyways, like you were saying earlier, it does actually make a lot of sense.
And he spent a fair bit of time actually setting up equipping things like taking off the Zeus gauntlet, and giving Young an iron ring. We have our poem with a tiara. So yeah. So hope is that everyone here should be magnetized, and they are. So yeah. So do you want to talk over music, or do we want to just actually let chat actually listen to it?
I never get to talk over music. What should we talk about? We're here for Magic the Gathering, right?
Yeah. That's what we were talking about before chat. I mean, before comms, so we could.
Or I'll be nice. Enjoy the music, y'all.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea where that was from.
I actually don't either. I'm gonna need chat to help us out here. Tybalt getting a Stardust Rod and the CPU fight makes this kind of a womp, but that's okay. We're gonna go right to Zod after this. And
I mean, we
actually,
have
Stardust,
a
I mean,
Palom.
it's a good piece of equipment. That's fair.
Yeah, it's a good piece of equipment. You have a Palom. Like, would you rather not spend the time to get that Palom, given that was, you know, about 3 minutes to do that check? No, but you're not going to no. But
Yeah, but I mean,
we do have a Palom.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also results oriented to think like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. It's like, well, we've
exactly.
already done it, which is okay. It's just totally okay. Part of the fun, we were talking about randomness before, right, is the sort of decisions you get to make on the fly, responding to kind of the randomness that is handed to you to make informed decisions about where you want to find your value. And sometimes it doesn't pay out, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. You know, I mean, exactly. I guess one of the things is you can't be too results oriented thinking it as a runner, because like otherwise you just decide to do bad checks more often because it worked for you last time. It's where good solid play will get you further. That's not to say you
definitely.
that's not to say you should never take gambles, but you should know when gambles are a good thing to try and take.
Yeah, exactly. And to be able to know that maybe if your gamble didn't work out this time, it's still a smart gamble to try the next time you're in that same situation or similar. And just to get it out there in comms, chat did let us know that music was Gangplank Galleon from Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, okay. Oh, now it's coming back to me. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, actually.
Yeah. So that's a lot of Diddy and Dixie off memory, right?
Diddy, Dixie, and Donkey. Yep.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I participated in. Oh my God, this just random memory came to me. When I was a kid, Donkey Kong Country, I played in some tournament at like GameStop. That wasn't called GameStop back then. I think it was Funkoland Games. You could come in and play on their special like tournament version of Donkey Kong Country, and I don't remember what you won if you did well, but I did not do well. But it was a thing that I did, and it was fun.
I mean, look, I guess that's your first insight into competitive video game playing, I guess.
It actually honestly probably was. I was like 10 years old. It actually honestly probably was, and I have loved competitive gaming for a very, very, very long time. I remember being very salty that I didn't do well, because I thought like, oh, I'm so good at video games. You know, that's 10-year-old me. Honestly, that attitude has not changed.
That's hilarious. You're so good at video games.
But I still get salty, and I'm still not very good at some things. I have attained skill in others, though.
Yeah. So yeah, Tybalt finally through the Leviathan fight at the Mega Sister spot, so we're about to find out whether this Earth Crystal has one of our bosses. Meanwhile, Podrak getting our music and probably go follow Tybalt's spot, and I think Cappy's just going to do, given that he is in Troy, is probably about to do the Zot check as well.
Yep, I see Podrak going for music. Cappy doesn't have the twin harp. PK going to Feymarch at the moment. Yeah, we'll see what this boss is. And wow, a couple people in chat kind of resonating with the Donkey Kong tournament. Bill Rains in chat saying that they won the tourney at their local Blockbuster. That's amazing. And Dishmu saying they cut their teeth at the playing Star Fox, which I did not know was a thing for tournaments. But that's really cool.
Well, so let's talk about Finding Free Flights to the Moon. It's basically dead now because we now see that there's King Queen Evelyn up here, and one quake and we get to skip the entire cutscene.
Yeah, that's one of the worst places to see it. I mean, there are some bosses that could be kind of rude here, but it has less health than the Maga Sister spot because that's usually combined from 3 enemies into 1 to make 9,000 hit points.
Yeah.
The magic is very deadly here, though, so I guess there could have been some rude things here. Maga Sisters, speaking of them, I know they're gone, but at the Valhalla spot is a very nasty fight if you don't have Quake.
Yeah.
And finds a Sand Ruby, which is just a shiny key item right now. Yeah.
So that's, yeah, so we're now at 6 key items on Tilt's side of the field without having done for Ball. Oh, wait, without doing Baron Inn, sorry. Or Baron Castle, blah. Words are hard.
Words are hard. I agree.
It's weird though. As we get through more and more checks, like, and it's more looking like that the moon is where it's at in some fashion.
Statistically, something's got to be up there, right? I mean, I'm not even gonna do the math, but between 3 bosses and key items.
Well, it's like, let's just think of what we know, right? Like, what we don't know. We don't know who's at sealed cave. We don't know who's in Tower Key. We don't know who's at package. It's highly unlikely that all 3 are in where our 3 bosses are. Now, if it is, I'm not sure if that came through.
Yeah,
if all 3 are there.
Clap. Yeah.
Yeah.
The odds are very, very unlikely.
Yeah. So this is what I'd be tempted to just go. Yeah, I think once I come to that conclusion and get the Luca key, maybe I just check Luca key and then I'm just gone. I'm just heading straight to the moon.
Yeah, I think checking Luca key is defensible just because, you walk it out if it's value, but you get to see the value up front, right? And you just get to reset if it's nothing.
Oh no, because we also want to see who the boss is, right? Like, because we don't.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that you get the key item and then you go see the boss, and then if the boss is nothing, then you dip.
Yeah. And especially considering we have a Palom now, we walking out is not going to be too bad. We just get to warp it out.
So Pika is going to be our second runner to look at this Rubicant fight and likely choose to take it on. Actually, no, just going to reset.
I think he's come to the conclusion that to try and win, he's just going to face check.
Oh, to find the bosses. Yeah, of course. At this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, honestly, Adam Armour makes...
Yeah.
We only need to do 2 or 3, right? So...
Yeah, we only need 2 of 3, and even if one of them has a key item that leads to one of those...
That counts as winning as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I do find it questionable to not check Sealed Cave first, given that you spent so much time in the early game to beat Demas to get that Luca key. That I'm kind of I think that's an interesting choice. But if you feel like it's not Moon is where it's at, then that's also fine.
Yeah, there's certainly the mindset of like, I spent my time on this, so I kind of want to chase the value that I've been given and kind of keep down that path, knowing that some runners may not have done it. It's definitely valid. Well, we'll see what's at the Murasame spot.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, we could have done it, but nah.
Yeah, PK is set up very well. Actually, everyone's set up very well to take care of that Ashura with the Rune Axe, but...
I think Adam Armour is also on Cecil as well, so like, you could just, go Zerk, yeah, just Zerk our Cecil here and just go a bite to eat while you eventually win.
Right. But yeah, I think PK is going to do the play that you were talking of and run to the bottom of the moon and face check down there.
Hmm. And given what we've seen of everything else, it looks barring some gates and key items, it looks shenanigans. It looks like all the giants, which we have access to as well, but you know, that's another story. It looks like it's going to be the way forward.
Yeah, again, kind of the key items you named would have to all have bosses, and we don't even have those key items yet. Anyways, we have to get them from somewhere.
Exactly.
The tower key, the package. For PK, the twin harp. And
the earth crystal.
And the earth crystal. So those are things that are going to be on his mind. May lead him towards just taking some of these fights. I mean, what he can do is face check, and then once you don't see what you want down here, you just start taking fights. Of course, we'll see what actually shows up.
I mean, I guess the other upside of doing this is that this also, by getting this knowledge now, you don't really need a grind. Like, that is how busted Adam Armor Cecil is in the end of the day, because it just means that you just get to do very cheeky things like dive moon at level 30, even with a light sword.
Yeah, and a level 30 moon can be doable, a bit slow depending on your party, but and there's the
That's
elements
one of them.
at the ribbon room. Now this is the elements with 45,000 health combined, and so okay, so he's going to choose to Zerk up Cecil. The other thing you can think about is reflecting spells to kind of skip the HP refill that this game kind of has to do to go from the first two elements to the second two elements. But Cecil's going to get Zerked up.
I think we're trying to set up as a cheeky thing, where because once we get to Ruby phase, that Young is going to put on a clinic, provided he survives.
Well, he has to live, yeah.
Yeah.
He also has to probably punch more than a couple times, but queuing up the Ice 3, Elements apparently knows what PK is planning here.
Yeah. And this has
hit our kid again.
No, we need to get the phase change now, because otherwise we're going to get that Ice 3 is going to not do what we want it to do.
Yeah, it's kind of under threat of healing Elements. And
that's going to be bad, because, yep, we just healed. I think that's a reset, yeah. You just healed past all the damage you just did, so...
Yeah, reset and set that back up. It's a little awkward also, because if Cecil's wearing that light sword, Mylan Zed in that spot learns to resist Holy, awkwardly enough.
Yeah, it's kind of rude when you think about it.
He also learns how to resist spears, which are normally weak to... spears exploit the flying weakness. So, yeah, Elements kind of throw a curveball at you. Spot also punches really hard.
Did that virus just miss? Or was that a target at Elements? I wasn't sure. I didn't see.
I looked away for just a second and I missed it.
Yeah, because okay, it may have just been a full... Unless it was an accidental target of the Young.
Oh, it might have been trying to keep Sid down as an anchor.
Yeah, and I think because I suspect that PK has also picked up the Dwarf Axe that's on sale at Silvera, so that's going to be a very good anchor.
Yeah. Now we're at the Ruby phase.
Now we actually get to cast Ice Free. We also get to see Young punch for
a ton of damage.
Yeah. Actually, here's one of the things where I think PK might have unintentionally made an error, and this is not an obvious thing. I might have actually gone into this fight with the Rune Axe equipped, because you know that the light sword is going to be resistant on the on the first phase, and Runax is actually going to do a whole bunch of damage on phase 2 because Ruby in that spot is a mage.
Yeah, he learns how to be a mage for this fight. It can exploit the mage weakness in the elements fight. But we've tipped over into the Kinatsu and Valvalis spot, and I'm going to be honest, when I'm in this fight, often they don't seem to do much of anything besides punch.
Yeah, I don't remember because by the time I'm up and running, they're probably dead anyway.
Right, exactly. So if they do something else, I will be surprised.
Like I'd have to look up the script literal.
It does still punch hard because of the spot's physical attack power. Basically everything on the moon punches hard.
Yeah.
Val does gain the holy weakness, which will be good for Cecil, dealing damage. Yep,
yeah,
there's the 4800.
Yep.
Harry Potter's Ruby's fandom, nice.
Yeah, and we're through. That is objective number 2 done for PK4787.
Not just the objective, but chance at 2 key items. Let's see what they are. Pass and a legend sword. Pass is really nice to see.
Legend sword
if we don't
also
find
not
our final
bad.
boss here.
Also, Legend sword also is pretty good because actually, because if you find the once you find we got the super smith on, right? So that changes that. Then never mind. Because I was about to say that if we find admin up here as well, we might be tempted to just turn it in just to get X-Scal, but we're not guaranteed X-Scal. We're guaranteed something from the FF4 advanced kit.
Yeah, which could be a wide number of things. It could be the Lightbringer, which is like Crystal Sword but better. It could be the Gigant Axe, which is something Cecil can wield and it's very strong. Or it could be there's the Caliburn, which is like the Excalibur. It does no damage.
We have
Scrap Metal, which is a worthless dart. Or it could be a Mage Stick.
You could get a Slime Sword.
You really want to kill those pink puffs, it's useful.
Yeah, but it's still not a good item.
No, not at all. Looks like PK was trying to punch through Bahamut before the Mega Nuke got off, just shy on damage. Gonna check.
Yeah.
Gonna check the Ogopogo altar now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is in there? There are mage sticks for Palom and Porum, and Palom and Porum's weapons are also shared by either Fusuya or Tella, depending on the item.
Yeah. Let's see. We could get God Hand.
Different ninja weapons. Yep, there's God Hand.
God Hand. Oh, Moon Vaunted. We have Odin here. That's also yuck. Actually, now you think about it.
Alright, Palom, you have one job. You need to survive. Lit 3 queued, Porum dies.
Hang on, I think the problem here is that we might have to, we have to take the reset because we need Palom. We actually want Yang to be zerked for this fight with the Cat Claw, over the Cat Claw Thunder Claw.
Yeah, wisely turning the battle speed down also. Some very, very good runners can run buffer and try to essentially cheat the ATB system where you kind of get to act like you're on battle speed 1. But that spot and a couple other moon spots that are so high level the way it's programmed, you actually can't get the runaway message to show up. Not for a very long time anyways. It takes a long time of holding the LNR. So it's not useful. So turning down the battle speed is also pretty important because the spot punches really hard and it has incredible magic power. Odin Zentetsuken is an AoE magic attack. It's got the power basically of Quake, but with this like 127 magic attack power value here, it's just going to do quad 9s. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're right there. Like, interesting. We're actually zerking up Cecil here and not Yang. I probably would have done the no, but we'll see if this works.
Just need to deal enough damage through 3 punches of Odin. I think Odin's punched a couple times already, so he'll punch 3 times and then raise his sword, wait a moment, and then use his AoE attack. And to answer chat, the Elements fight was found in the Ribbon Room. So any runner that comes to the bottom of the moon is going to find their either find their go mode or be very close to it at this point.
Well, yeah, it's like Cappy is about to get. It is actually go mode, right? Because like that's 2 bosses. Most people here are going to come up with having done dwarf castles, which is the one thing that's kind of outstanding here.
Yeah, but if Cappy is at Dwarf Castle, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
he is then.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, because that's where Kanata was. And yeah, PK's through. PK is through. He's about to get his crystal, and it'll be interesting what he does from here, because like where he goes from here, because I feel like PK would feel like he is almost ready.
It is a little dicey. Adamant armor is incredible, but you do need your party to survive Big Bangs.
Oh hey, I'll wait underground.
So, you know what? That play I was talking about earlier, it would have been very difficult, but if you found a way to grind up to a level where you could take on the moon, you could have found the magma key here and avoided that hook route entirely, missing out on the Milan Z fight, but that's not at play here. Everyone went through the hook route. Everyone got that objective done.
Yeah.
If PK bought some sirens, he might think about doing a couple of those. I see 3 in his inventory.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to do it.
I think given he's cabinet, I think he's going to be doing a grind of some sort. I'm not sure what his target is, but he's going to do a grind.
Getting Porum to at least 1,200 hit points would be kind of nice so that you could nerf Big Bangs and kind of guarantee she survives. Now, if you put like the adamant armor on her, you probably don't even need 1,200 hit points, but then you need your other party members to survive.
Yeah.
So taking a little bit of a grind makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what PK's loot target here in terms of trying to complete everything.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. So we don't have 10 key items, and Porum's major weakness is coming into play now. She is not going to get the health growth that Rosa would have, and she doesn't get access to Cure 4 for so something like level 40, mid 40s, something like that.
Yeah,
it's very possible. Yeah, it's very possible that PK won't get there, and might have to live with Cure 3. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Actually,
here. I'm not good with the. I'm not good with knowing those kind of numbers. I just sort of wing it when I'm playing these. Hashtag wing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I also kind of wing it. Oh, Crimson also making Portrait. PK still at battle speed 4 for this, so that's kind of awkward.
Yeah, that's gonna feel a little bit bad. Palam's really the primary damage dealer here. Interesting note. Most enemies do not have meaningful defense. The King Ryu fight, for whatever reason, in the back row, actually gains a meaningful defense stat. That's why Cecil's Swing only did 700.
Yeah,
of course with the
front
yeah, of course with the front dragon gone, then there's the back row sort of isn't a thing anymore. If PK notices it, he can just change his battle speed though. He'll be fine.
PK needs to press it.
PK might have lost input or something, sitting here
Maybe.
on the GP received.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like you lost input, dropped your controller or something. Hopefully he'll come back here shortly.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward because I'm pretty sure he plays on keyboard, I thought.
Oh, that's true. Oh, so maybe the keyboard disconnected? We see the characters moving, so we know his stream is okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Tybalt is right on PK's tail is about to do the Element fight as well.
And while our runners are going through the seed, I do have to announce we do have a first place winner. We have Fried Potato finishing in first place at a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Yeah, GG's Potato. That like I said, getting through this very impressive. In that time, impressive.
Absolutely, GG's to him. One of our most prolific ladder runners. Not surprised at all. This being one of our latter flag sets. Not surprised at all that he got through it the way he did. GG's to him.
Yeah, GG's like potato. Yeah, like it's funny because I'm not gonna lie. If and when Potato decides to join a possible upcoming tournament of some sort, yeah, I do not want him to race him at all. That is a frightening prospect.
He is definitely going to be a player to watch out for sure, and I hope he does join. Of course, up to him if he wants to or not. And if any of you, dear viewers and listeners, are interested in the ladder yourself, we do have a ladder. There are 6 different flag sets that are in rotation. This is one of them. There's a nice variety for you to choose from. There's Supermarket Sweep, which is a lot more beginner friendly, and otherwise just leans really hard into shopping. There's Giant Percent, which is really kind of about glitching and finding a darkness crystal right away. There's Sea Hero. There's kind of something for everybody. So if you're interested, definitely check it out.
And if you don't know what you're looking for, there's always Mystery, which gives you could be anything. Could even give you a wacky thing.
Mystery is definitely one of those ones, since it's become an option. I think there are certain runners who really love Mystery and have been playing a heck of a lot of it. And I love seeing that option is available. I've been kind of slowly dipping my toes into the Mystery Seeds. It's definitely a different type of thing.
Yeah, totally. Like it's like Mystery, like trying to puzzle together things are going on, like whether it's like what glitches are on, whether it's vanilla jelly things like that. That's always fun to me. Like meanwhile, Project's actually doing so if we actually went to look at you've gotten the pan, I feel like you're probably obliged to walk that out, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel obliged to walk it out. It could have the tower key, it could have the package.
It could have a free fight.
Yeah, it's not
there's
the
a free
boss,
fight here,
though.
so yeah. Yeah,
this might just be a rabbit hole and a waste of time, unfortunately, for this seed.
Yeah, for the seed, yeah. Again, it's going to work out if you didn't face check this, but no. But as runners see that there was a start time of 1 hour 20 something, they're not going to think that it's all the moon, I would think.
Yeah, this spot easily could have had Odin elements or Octomam instead, right? In a different world. Yep.
Exactly.
All right, Tybalt. I was just going to say, Tybalt, meanwhile, is through his final fight there against Odin. Looks like he's going to take a grind himself, and he will also be Z ready.
Oh, also heads up play is going to get through a little quicker with the RT bow and RT arrows, but wrong around, but it's going to do a bit of work there. But yeah.
Oh yeah, the arrow has to be on the primary hand, right? Or you take an accuracy loss. Yeah.
Correct.
But I don't know. I think this is the part where some flags usually kind of show up, and.
But there's nothing there. I don't see anything.
We kind of asked this cheeky question, like, is it nap time? Like, but yeah, it's just kind of nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing. All right. I guess we're off the hook of having to say ask the cheeky question.
Oh, so it's time to talk about magic, right?
Yeah, totally. Like, so, all right. Can you try to pronounce that name? And you know what name I'm trying to ask you to pronounce.
Asmarana Mardika Daistina Kuldakar.
God damn, you can do it. I can't.
Asmarana Mardika Daistina Kuldakar. No, I could do it once apparently.
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I guess we're just now that we've got to see some Z fights, so we'll ask whose butts are we going to kick tonight?
Is it cute? Does it have a butt? How is the butt? There are many questions to ask here, and that Crystal has the answer.
Indeed.
Asmarana Mardika Daistina Kuldakar.
Yeah.
I've practiced it. That's the only reason I can pronounce that.
I have not practiced this list. So
I just want to play with that card in a deck. I don't even play Modern, but I will play Modern just so that I can have an excuse to pronounce that name anytime possible.
Yeah.
Also, she's the author of the Underworld Cookbook.
right. Kinda cute.
Like cute, and also the like you're gonna die.
Frightening?
It's frightening kind of way.
Yeah.
I've also seen this. Thank you, chat bailing me out. Profound Darkness from Phantasy Star 4. I've seen this sprite a few times now, and I always forget. My brain goes to Perfect Dark, the the N64 game.
Huh. I have not played this game at all. That game at all. So.
Yeah, I was an SNES kid growing up, so I didn't have access to Genesis games. I had a friend who played Phantasy Star 4, and I was very fascinated by it, but I did not. I have not finished it.
Yeah, but
yeah,
this fight's actually gonna be very rough for PK. Like we're going in very underleveled. Like I think Porum only has 1,300 hit points. Doesn't even have a Cure 4. It just has Cure 3. So it looks like he's just going and trying to count on the fact that he is going to nerf every single Big Bang, which is also kind of dicey considering we don't have any Barkus ones either.
Yep, only having access to Cure 3. Porum really getting pinched here on her turns.
Yeah.
Can only do so much at once. But yeah, to explain quickly what nerfing the Big Bang means, Zeromas has a script that he always goes through in the same order. The Big Bang is like the big AoE attack, and before that, the first time, if you queue any magic, well, any certain magic, I think holy spells don't count, but you'll get a counter spell of a nuke that targets one of your party members, and this Zeromas dials down the magic attack power so that nuke doesn't just straight out kill, and then that value stays. So the Big Bang that comes out deals a lot less damage because Zeromas doesn't change the script's like magic attack power to what it should be at. Okay, looks like PK is going to take a wipe here.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't get the nerf off in time, or maybe didn't have the healing required. Probably
meanwhile,
interested in taking more of a grind.
Yeah. Tybalt's on his way down low. Also taking the full walk because I think he just went down as opposed to doing anything else.
Yeah, I think since PK is already on Earth, just taking the moment to at least get Porum to Cure 4 will make that fight a lot safer.
Yeah. And it's not like Sirens aren't for sale if necessary. No.
Right, exactly.
Like
that might be why PK
it's
chose to
doable.
come back to the Earth. Yep.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we have a second place finisher, Possum Morpheus, finishing in second place with a time of 1:34.07. GG's to Possu.
Yep, get your GGs out in chat for Possum Morpheus. And Tybalt, in the fight now, might take third place.
Yeah,
Actually, as I say that, we do have a third place finisher. Dekar Smash has finished third place with a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 31 seconds.
GG's Dekar. Can you also mention how Ladder has really brought some people out like Dekar and like Friday Patel who have no tournament experience, who I'm basically frightened to run into in the tournament. Can we just mention that? That's amazing.
Absolutely. That is a testament to the ladder system, because it's letting these runners get like tournament level practice depending on how well you do, and who you get to play against. And it's not just on your skill level. Your pairings kind of depend on who signs up that day, and there is a rating system. But yeah, it's giving these runners a chance to play games where they might have had to wait for community races otherwise, or pickup races. It's just sort of like automated that experience. They're really great to see.
Yeah, Poitrak also looks like he's going to top down. which is kind of unfortunate considering we know that the bottom of the moon is where it's all at. Same with Cappy. Cappy is taking on the Asura fight. So yeah, but yeah, top half having their crystal, bottom half trying to find our go mode. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, if you're taking fights here, at this point, I could see kind of hoping that the moon doesn't have the value, and hoping that instead one of the key items, or that the moon doesn't have the bosses, right? Or at least not both of them, and that one of these fights leads to a key item that leads to a boss.
Yeah,
that's kind of what this reads to me, which is kind of an okay. It's a choice that makes sense to me. It won't work out for these runners, but it's one that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and also probably important to point out right now is that Project is actually at 10 key items because it looks like Pan has given us the tower key, so that's going to make any feature grind that Project's going to do that much more efficient.
Yep, definitely. Literally double the experience for having 10 key items.
And we got the script kill. Nice.
But Tybalt getting through his fight here. Not exactly sure what phase of this fight we're at. Everyone's healthy, so this might just be the first big bang. No, it's the second. So I think Yang just took 2,000 damage there, but Porm lived, very importantly. I'm gonna guess Cecil's wearing that adamant armor. The really only concern at this point might be like a Big Bang and a Meteor situation. I think Tybalt's gonna get through. Just off of the hit point total of Yang and Cecil.
Yeah.
And they're dealing pretty good damage.
But having said that though, like your main way you get through this is basically it is literally the Cecil and White Mage show here. So not too much of a, and given the hit point totals on Yang, like 200, that's a very healthy number of hit points.
Yep, exactly.
And Porm survives the Big Bang.
Yeah, it's also possible Porm is wearing that adamant armor, able to survive these Big Bangs so easily.
I mean, at the very least, Porm either has a tiara or a ribbon, so that's helping with the multipliers a fair bit as well. So
quite a bit, definitely.
But no, it looks like he's. But yeah, we're seeing what 6K a cycle. That's also pretty decent.
Yeah, but 7K can get you into that Big Bang and the Meteor threshold. But we see rocks here. Tybalt's gonna get through this.
Yeah.
Very shortly.
Yeah.
Nice double dodge there. Not necessary at this point, but you love to see it.
And yet, Tybalt's through. He has finished. He is not quite winner for people of rounds on the restream team, but 4th overall with a time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 2 seconds. GG's Tybalt.
Yeah, GG's to Tybalt. Get your GG's out in chat, and we'll see if he is available for an interview shortly.
In the meantime, Cappy Project got a Murasame from the Rubicante fight, so that's no value. Whereas this Asura spot has the Masamune, which is also no value because there's not an edge to be found this seed.
My brain is racking itself for an edge pun, but there's just nothing.
Look, sometimes trying to find make up an edge pun is a corner case scenario, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go with yeah. Chat saying I'm losing my edge. I absolutely am. I'm not sure I had an edge to begin with. These runners certainly didn't have an edge.
No, definitely not. And we are now joined by Tybalt. GG's Tybalt on your first on the restream, 4th place overall. How did you feel about that seed?
I felt pretty good. I felt a little behind once I wiped the Val and had to walk back down.
I mean, but good player to actually work out that, you know, remember where those vampires were for sale, and knowing that you could actually vampire your way through that first spot. That was actually quite heads up. Good heads up play there.
Absolutely. And the vampires, you on the restream were the only player to go with that strategy, and it worked really well for you.
I actually didn't know where vampires were for sale.
Oh, you just found like 5?
No, I had found one, and then I saw Val up there, and I went, I know vampires can get through this since I used one. Let's see if they're for sale somewhere. Second shop I checked had vampires, and I bought 10.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I love that.
Better lucky than
went
good.
back up.
Better lucky than good, I guess.
Well, I mean, but also just the mindset of I need to find some sort of consumable that can deal damage to her. It's heads up to know that she doesn't have magic defense there.
I wasn't 100% sure until I used the first vampire up on her the first attempt, and then I knew.
All right, so past
like-
that ordeals, how are you feeling about the seed?
Past ordeals, I was feeling pretty good. I knew I had bought hourglasses, but at the end I couldn't find them. I must have sold them by accident and didn't realize it. Yeah, so the gold dragon grind at the end was kind of slow in my mind.
Yeah, so the hourglasses were in Eblin.
Yep, I know they're in Eblin with sirens. I know I bought a few the second go through. Since I found few cat claws, black belt, Zeus. I'm like, Young, you're getting decked.
Yeah, not fair. Like double cat claw. I think you're all the elemental claws. If you're lucky, you'll also found a charm claw somewhere. You know, you could
I actually didn't find one. I didn't find one. No, I didn't find one.
I think it was maybe one for sale somewhere.
Maybe. But then, of course, then wiping to Ruby on the moon did not help. I know that
was just
magic is
unlucky.
not great there.
That was just unlucky because like because you were through that if Ruby didn't literally just punch Young, I think you were through.
Well, the other thing is I didn't have enough life potions, and her taking out Porum, the only person that has life, kind of hurt.
Yeah, that's also kind of unfortunate. But yeah, Force Weapon had a Murasame, by the way, so it wasn't actually any value.
Well, I think at that point I was just more of getting the experience from that spot before going down the hook route, which is why I took the trap chest, figuring I've got an hourglass, I can take out the hair dryers, get decent experience to be able to go down the hook route without having to do any of the trap chests in Eblin or on the way down.
It was very heads up, and Phineas named that exact play before you were doing it, and sure enough, you took that trap chest. Gave you a quick
light sword.
Right?
Light sword,
gave me quick compound and a light sword, which I was very happy about. I didn't have to spend a bunch of money on.
Yeah. Or very fair, because no one on Restream actually has found a holy weapon of any sort. So you know, light sword was going to be where it was at. No, unless you found a trap chest somewhere.
Yeah, light sword were for sale in Eblin.
Yeah, I noticed they were for sale in Eblin, but pretty steep price tag.
Yeah,
6,000 is kind of pricey to pay. No, and I think I ran it fairly well. Okay,
so obviously for this seed, Moon, given that you had after doing Dwarf Castle, you know you've beat Mind Z, you've got Sid. You had to. At what point did you think Moon was the play? Because
after doing Earth and going into Baron, I've got pretty much almost every single check available to me aside from Pass, Luca, and I think Tower Key. I don't know if I've got the Tower Key at the time. And I'm like, okay, well, Moon's got 7 keys. I'm thinking maybe the Giant, with it slogging on as long as it has, maybe Giant has something. I'll go to the Moon. I only had 8 key items. I'm like, well, I'll see what's down there, see what I can take out. A lot of the free bosses are already out of the pool. Luckily, Bahamut was there, which was nice, and then gave me enough to get Fire 3 on Hallam.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you did the White Spear Altar first before doing Ribbon Room. Okay.
Yep. I did White Spear Altar first because I know it doesn't have that high of a magic. It's a little bit lower health total than the Ribbon Room, and only with 8 key items. My original plan was going to do a White Spear then Ogo Pogo, but then I saw, good old elements, and they're like, well, nope, I'm taking this. I'm already going to lose experience by skipping one phase.
Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of tapped out of questions here. Do you have any other questions there, Solaris?
No, I think we kind of covered it all. But do you have any last words, Tybalt, before we let you go?
Thanks for the restream. Thanks for commentary, both Infinius and Solaris. I know you guys do wonderful commentary. Thanks to Krim for restreaming and Joe Fuzz for doing the tracking. We couldn't put the show on without you guys.
Yep, and thank you for being for volunteering for restream. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's, Tybalt. Bye.
So while we're going through the interview, it looks like yes, we still don't have not had a 5th phase finisher, and PK just took another wipe to that Zeramis fight. Yeah, it's kind of one of those interesting things where it's probably being a bit maybe it just needs to grind a bit more, but it's kind of hard to know there. Oh, so there's a protect ring behind Bahamut. That would also have helped with Porom survivability. Huh.
Protect ring, yeah, that's got a ton of magic defense on it.
Yeah.
It looks like Porum's 52, so I think PK is trying to do a reflex strat, but if it's not working out, that it might be an anchoring issue. Maybe. I don't know if he has a Dwarven Axe. I don't know what agility Sid is at. I'm not sure. But he's going to go in again and give it another chance. Go ahead.
I would say that's I would thought that Sid is base level because PK has been very good at trying to keep him down. So
he starts with something like 9 agility, right?
I think so, but even if it's 9, yeah, that the rest of the character should be able to get to 9, 18, 25. Pretty at that point. Maybe they're RA2 because they're just above, because they're definitely above 18 is the thing.
Yeah, absolutely above 18. They're probably above 25 actually, to be honest.
Actually, no, hang on. So math is back. Math is hard. It's 23. 23 for RA1 if it's 9.
So yeah, I think
what he's trying. Oh, I think I know. I think I've worked it out. I think he's trying to go for a unicorn strat at this point. So he's trying to not tip while doing this, and I think that's where things are going a bit awry.
Got it. You see him queuing up a wall on a Fire 3.
Huh.
It is sort of smart to do the Fire 3 at that 3rd actor spot. I was actually just talking about this in Newbies chat. If you at the battle speed 3 or higher, if you had Palom Fire and Nuke immediately, Zoromus wouldn't have the chance to have a turn to sort of turn off his immunity essentially, and the Nuke would miss. Fire 3 will hit. But you could also just put your White Mage at the bottom.
Yeah,
have cast white instead. Yeah, the awkwardness also is that there's only 2 reflectors here instead of a 3 would be really comfortable.
Yeah, maybe this is actually just it's a hybrid strat this time around.
Yeah.
It's but I don't know, it's just an awkward setup, right? Doing it this way. I would probably have had if I'm going to do this kind of strat, I probably would have Young at the top in slot 2, Porom slot 3, Palom slot 4, Cecil slot 5. So that so you can kind of weave in some nurse with I don't know, because if he's bought a Silk Web, you can do it that way. And it's not like Young needs the healing after the nerf Big Bang because he has a huge stack of hit points.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to ask him about it when he's done with his fight.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he is thinking of something that I'm just not currently.
Same.
There's the nuke now targeting against Sid, and between that, the adamant armor, I do think we're going to be okay here. Meanwhile, Poydrak taking his Gold Dragon fight now. I see he's at his 4 objectives. We'll get into his Z fight pretty soon here.
Yeah.
And Cappy has found his Odin as well, so he will also get his 4 objectives, probably start his grind and be in Soromas pretty shortly himself.
Yeah. And given that we've done all the grinding our runners are able to do at this point, this should all be a pretty straightforward fight at this point.
Okay, can we talk about Cappy's characters' names again? Now, it was High Hook for free. I love it.
Yeah, ouch.
You're fortunate to get the Tanzan Tutskin there. Not quad 9s, like I was kind of thinking, but 6k basically is quad 9s, right? It's lethal.
I mean, unless it's an apple seed, like that's basically the same. One the same, right? Like you have to get to like a ridiculously high level on Yang to actually even survive a 6k Zetsuken, right? So,
fun fact about Yang: once he hits 6,000 hit points, he stops gaining hit points.
Yep.
Sid can get to 9,000 at like level 90, so I don't know what it takes for him to get to 7,000 hit points, but it's probably level 60 or above.
You know, I am going to look this up because you have me curious about this thing. So I have. Also, if you want important resources about all stat growth, go to the FF4FE wiki page, because that has a whole bunch of very important information about these kind of things. Oh, is Project doing what I think he's about to do?
I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Oh, is this pink?
Yep. Yes. Yeah. For a man of the people, we get to watch the Pink Puff fight.
This is only the second time I've ever even gotten to see this on Restream.
Oh wow! On Cappy's side, we're at I think the Wyvern spot, and they had Octomam. So yeah, all three bosses were on the moon.
Whoa! And this is really good to see here for Cappy, because this is a much easier fight than Odin. Yeah, punches really hard here, but Octomam's script, like vanilla, loses agility as he loses tentacles here. So, and is weak to lightning, and has less health in that Ogopogo spot. This is a much easier fight than Odin.
Yeah. Intriguing. All right. So I was gonna look up Sid. That's right, Sid. As I was getting distracted, Sid hit point total 7. For him to get to 7,000 hit points, at the very least, the earliest he'll get it is level 69.
Nice. That's all I have to say. That is nice.
It also requires about 3.2 million experience, so you know that's fine.
That's like 3 radios to nuke, right? It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, Sid is also guaranteed to get to quad 9 hit points at level 93.
Yep. Oh wow. That's a very high level. I see Rocks on PK's side. He'll be through that fight shortly. Meanwhile, Pink Puffs, I don't know, I'm not able to unmute the stream at the moment, but if we can get audio to Pink Puffs, they do have their own special song. Might get to hear that if you're not already. And PK is through the fight. GG's to PK.
Yep, GG's. He finishes in 5th place with a time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 40 seconds. GG's. We will see if he's actually available for an interview shortly.
Do you think Poydrak will find an adamant armor?
No, I'm never lucky. Never lucky.
It's like a 1 in 256 odds, right?
Yeah. A bit more like, because it's you get 1 shot per Pink Puff, so I think it's like 5. But we got E for 2, which is like, so we got a drop, which is like a 1 in 64. It's just like, I think it's off memory, Ether 2 is the common.
Yeah, the adamant armor is the rare. Normally it's the pink buff tail, but
Yeah.
since that's a key
Yeah.
item in Free Enterprise, it's just an
Adamant
adamant
armor.
armor. By the way, that is a way to get an adamant armor in a seed where adamant armors are off. Just don't count on it.
Yeah. And we are now joined by PK4787. GG's PK, and congratulations on fifth place.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a huge honor.
You sound so excited.
I mean, my first trip into Zeromus, I didn't think I had it, but I also didn't have life pots and I didn't have Starvilles, and those both combined probably meant I was never gonna make that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's the combination of life pots and Starveils. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
Okay.
I would have Starveiled Porum, and then tried to keep Porum safe through a certain amount of Zerking. I mean, for anyone watching, these are all just like the worst Zeromus strats you could ever possibly try, but without any of the J items I wanted, that was just never gonna work.
Yeah, that was basically nerf and then pray that Porum doesn't die ever, right?
Yeah, no, if without life pots, if Porum gets hit by a nuke,
That's
then
just
it's
done.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's over. And that was, I was like, okay, so I found like both of these pieces of go mode were right here. Somebody's gotta be right there. Let me just sort of dive in and do some dumb stuff. But I knew Starvilles were a Baron, but without life pots, even the Starvilles weren't that great.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, for what's worth, all 3 bosses were on the moon that were left.
Where was the last one? Where's Octomom?
Crystal Sword.
Crystal Sword.
Oh, I was like,
the
part of me
seed
was
had a
like,
joke.
we could just take a grind, like you could take a grind up there on the moon and then just do moon.
Oh, that would be problematic because then you probably would. Actually, no, because you've got the magma key and then you've gone to dwarf and gotten Sid that way. Okay, never mind.
Wait, you wouldn't. It's 4 out of 5, so you don't.
Yeah,
need
exactly.
Sid.
Yeah,
Who needs Sid?
yeah.
Who needs Sid?
but mine was on the hook route. Mine was on the hook route.
Oh, that's fair.
But if you do all 3 of those bosses and then you get Sid from Dwarf Castle, that's it, right? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
The
exactly.
whole like Siren's Hourglass is both in that Cave Evelyn shop just made for like, I didn't know what anyone else is going to do, and
Absolutely.
if I
Yeah,
had a
we
better
were
sword for Cecil, that would have been fine. Like there were a lot of things that would have made that Z fight fine the first time I went in, but I didn't really have that much.
Yeah. No, we kind of did highlight the fact that you just didn't have any really good weapon except for a light sword, really.
Did anyone find anything good for Cecil? Did I miss anything?
No.
Here on Restream, we just saw Light Sword at best. The only real difference in their Z fights for Tybalt, for instance, was being able to get to 10 key items, so the grind was just faster to get to a level where you don't care about.
Yeah, that was something in my head where I'm like, hey, it actually would have probably behooved me to have, taken 1 or 2 more random things just to get to 10.
Actually, speaking of which,
But there's no way knowing that you're going to get there, so it makes sense to me that you just dive for the objectives and then try to figure it out from there.
yeah, actually, well, speaking of being short 10 key items, told me, so yeah, you got Luca key from doing the Demon's check down, at the own spot. But you also end up fading the Sealed Cave in the end. What brought you to that decision?
But once I hit Mylon Z, and I checked the Fate March, and I knew that it was Dark Knight Cecil at the top of tower. But he's just boss hunts left, so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a good answer to this, Infinius.
Okay.
Don't put me on the spot like this. I'm just running around like a child. I mean, I love these seeds. I love these flags. I don't love Luca Cave, so
Okay.
I mean maybe that's why my decision was made the way it was.
I mean, that's fine. Like it's one of those things where it's like, because I was thinking about, as I was talking, I was kind of leaning towards maybe I just dive Moon at this point, like way sooner. But you know,
I mean, I was going to dive Luca Cave if I thought that was in my head the whole time I went the hook route. Was like, all right, Luca Cave, like I need to get value out of Luca Cave.
Mm-hmm.
But then after I ended up getting Mylon Z and Sid, it was kind of like, well, I should probably just go to the moon because that's where all the bosses are.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
to me.
Exactly.
And it
Yeah.
turned out this seed, all Luca Cave had was key items, which, I mean, useful for the 10 key item grind, but...
I've heard really good things about key items.
You only need a couple here and there. Like this seed, you literally only needed Darkness and Hook, right? Who needed anything else? Everything else was window dressing.
That's fair. I mean, this turned into like a weird seed though, because it was like, if Cecil had like an X-Cal, if Cecil could hit for 2k more a turn, then I could have gotten through that Z fight first try. Instead, I saw the Duns come in, and it's like, all right, well, I'll just like patiently grind up to regular Z levels. If I had done those gold dragons at 10, maybe I would have had a competitive time against first. But thank you both, Infinius and Solaris, Joe Fuzz, for the tracking crim. I don't know why anyone ever picks me to be featured, but I'll look forward to watching this back. You all have a good night.
Well, thank you for being featured, and thank you for a very good run here. I know the Z fight didn't go quite how you wanted, but everything else I think went rather.
I've never had a Z fight that goes the way I want it to.
Yeah.
It's very true. Very
Fair.
true. Z, it's very tricky. Anyway, GG's again, and have a good one.
GG's. While we're going for an interview, we have a few people finish. We had NG Dave finish in 6th place with a time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 35 seconds, and our person who just popped onto the course, Poydrak, finishing 7th place with a time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 33 seconds. GG's, Poydrak.
Hope you enjoyed the show, the dance show.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
We very much did. Yes.
Yeah. Look, you know, in a big race, you have the stage all to yourself. Why not do a dance?
Well, the stage isn't technically all to myself. There are 3 other racers in this particular stream that everyone's been watching, but I went into this just going, you know what, I'm just going to have some fun with it, see what I get out of it, and then just play it sillily. And Gold Dragon grind, I'm doing 200 damage a pop. Valvalis really early in a place you really shouldn't fight her that early. And Pink Puffs, why not?
Yeah, why not? I think the only thing we missed out was you racing the treasury and talking to Drop Dwarf. I think. We may have done it. There was so much happening at the time that we might have missed it.
I did not know. No, standard treasures means I don't usually check it. Plus, I had so much good gear that it didn't really matter. And Job Dwarf, I just forgot. I went to Summer twice. I just forgot.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that treasury, it featured a carrot and not much else. I mean, there was a ninja hat and dragoon gloves, but it was not good.
Yeah.
So you did not miss out.
Yeah,
But yeah, that seed in general, at least early on, started kind of surprisingly rude. Tell us how you were feeling about either that or the rest of it in general.
Young Cecil Porum start actually isn't that bad for me because at least I know what I'm doing with them. We know what Yarn brings to the table. He's going to punch things. We know what DKC is going to bring to the table. Not much. We know what Porum's going to bring to the table. Oh, because she at least has some early game utility with slow, with the cure, and Berserk comes fairly quick. Not quick enough for that Veil, unfortunately, but still fairly quick. But so that was fine. And finding the 2 cat claws, all the elemental claws for Yarn, the back black belt, the headband, the Zeus gauntlet, just meant that Yarn could actually do work in that. Cecil really was a bystander for the entirety of my IC because Young was just so well equipped. Even after becoming a paladin, all I had was that lightsaber and a samurai armor. Sure, I could have transferred a few things over, but why?
Yeah,
A lightsaber. Yeah, lightsaber isn't really. It's good, but it's not great.
No, I totally get that. That's actually a good heads up call because like that's there's only a few things that Cecil's going to bring to the table. Like if you could like, and to be fair, you did run into a few things like the Mega Sisters fights down in Baron Castle, or like or even the Baron Guards fight because like having that rune axe and also I guess Mad Ogre's having an Ogre axe. There's only so much that Cecil's actually going to do.
Yeah, and in really, he was there to keep Palom alive with cover, keep Porum alive with cover. Yang, by that point, had enough hit points for what I wanted for him. The only wish that I had made, which I think might have changed things, is actually just to stay on the moon. Even after that first Gold Dragon, I was considering it, and in retrospect, it probably would have been the best play because we did have 2 bosses up there, so Moon was hard required.
3 bosses.
We had 3 bosses up there. The Crystal Sword Altar had the Octoman, turns out.
Yeah, so staying on the moon would have been perfect because you do those 3 bosses. All I needed to do was pick up a couple of extra hourglasses, really, do an extra little bit of grind, do those bosses. Mylon Z was in the hook route. You don't even need to go underground. You can just then log off with the pass and go back up and go to the moon.
You need to get the Sid. You need to get the Sid, and we only Sid
not really, because it was 4 out of 5. If 3 bosses are on the moon with the Mylon Z on the hook route, which you got straight at the start, that's your 4.
Oh yeah, sure. But it's one of those things where you would not have known that if you because you've gotten the magma key from Odin, though. That's from that Odin fight. So that makes that.
That is true, but then if I'm looking for a character, I go to Dwarf, and then still,
exactly. So exactly,
it's even quicker.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny because we were discussing as at some point when after we'd seen everything, it's like I think I kind of made the comment that I feel like doing Sirens and doing King is the play right now because Moon's looking to be like where the party is at, and it turns out the party was there.
Yeah. And I had all the gear I needed for the entirety of the seed. I think, I had everything. So going to staying on the moon was the correct play. It's just, I just decided not to. But oh well. Hindsight is clear for a very good reason because you can't go back for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. No, we this is all about learning things and that kind of thing. So in the end, you're the only of a runner suit to fight Pink Puff. So that makes you a winner in our hearts.
Absolutely.
as I said, I just went out there to have fun today and just put on a show. I hope I did that. I'm going to pass it over to Cappy, who I believe is waiting in the wings, and I'm going to go and pass out for a little bit. So have a good evening, everyone.
You definitely
GG's
did put on a
Polytrack.
good show. GG's, and thanks again for volunteering. And you have a good one. And yeah, Cappy has finished at 2 hours, 8 minutes, 22 seconds, and we are joined by Cappy. GG's, Cappy. How you feeling?
Thanks. So you ever have this recurring dream that just keeps happening, and it turns out to be this woman that is a whirlwind that just keeps destroying you over and over again?
In
Sort of.
game, particularly, perhaps. Go ahead and Phineas.
For me, it's actually it's not one that goes in the world. It's actually three sisters. I know they always give me trouble.
Yeah, that was. I knew I was behind when I got to Valvalis, and I was like, oh boy, what am I gonna do from here?
Yeah, that spot or the back attack spot can definitely be a wall just because of the physical defense. Awkwardly, the front half of it doesn't have magic defense, so you can throw consumables if you ever happen to think of it in the future. Something I like to do is either throw Thor Rage or throw a little spell just to see if it even hits. One, and then two, if it does more than 1 point of damage, you know that they have very low magic defense there. That is how some of our other runners got through that fight. Definitely not an easy one, though.
Yeah, the whole magic defense thing kind of passed me by. So
yeah, absolutely, it's not obvious at all. I mean, it's just sort of depending on where she shows up. There isn't much rhyme or reason for it.
There is a table that's available in guides in the guides and resources section. It actually lists what her resistances are. So that's also a very good if you're never unsure about physical damage. Yeah, look on magic. That's a good one to look up.
Besides that, I mean, once I got Cecil over to Paladin, it wasn't as bad. When, I had the rune axe and everything. So I know I looted a little bit more than I should have. I was trying to find something better for Cecil than light sword, but we got there. We got there eventually. I didn't, I finished last, but could have been worse. I could have kept you guys here for like another hour. I have that ability.
Well, if you want to keep us up here for now, we'll be just here talking about some other things like Magic the Gathering. So that's fine.
Yeah, we would have just hung out and chit chatted. We would have been okay. I'm not sure about the other restream members, but Phineas and I would have been great. We would just talk about. I'm going to try to pronounce his name again. Asmarana Mardica Dice Nukuldakar. Wow, I did it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a Magic the Gathering card with an obscenely long name. Anyways.
Oh, you want to throw it out right now? Magic? Okay, let's do this.
Look, all I'll say is that Cauldron Compliant is a busted card in Limited. It is silly, but yeah, enough about that.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. I'm gonna be looking back at the playback, seeing where the major differences were. Obviously, Moon was the key.
Yeah, you'll find some of the runners chose to start face-checking bosses once they got to the moon later, knowing that you're looking for 2 bosses as a boss hunt, so that might be something to keep in mind for the future. Not that the play that you made was... Because if the bosses weren't on the moon, they had to be somewhere behind a key item we didn't have yet, so it also made sense to me to take on, but that might be just another option to think about. That's kind of the major difference, I think, to me, between that and the Valvalis. For you compared to kind of our other runners on stream.
Yeah, totally agree there. Like making the call of when to go moon was basically the telling factor here.
Yeah, well, still learning. I'm better behind the mic than in front of the screen right now. We'll work on that though.
But we're absolutely happy to have you here. Thank you so much for volunteering to restream. This will be, you'll get to look back and see what other people did at the same time that you were playing. So from a learning experience kind of perspective, I think it's if you're happy that you did this, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
Definitely. In fact, I'm getting geared up. I know there's coming up in 45 minutes. I might do that too.
Yeah, and also if nothing else, you also get to hear a lot of insightful commentary from at least one of our comms here. It's
Which is
hilarious.
Infinius. It's Infinius.
It's-
Named multiple things that actually happened on stream. Or maybe it's us both. But yeah.
Okay, mate.
Thank you so much for you guys joining in and commentating, and the trackers and restreamers and everyone for doing this. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thanks again, and you have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, Cappy. GG's.
Well, that is all the free enterprise that we have for tonight. And as much as I would love to stay and talk about Magic, we're not actually going to do that.
Unfortunately. I mean, maybe off stream, but maybe off stream.
Yeah, but not on stream.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, we will be sending y'all over. Actually, hold on a moment. I have to kick in the raid command here. We're going to be going over to Possum Morpheus, who is continuing to do free enterprise. He was in this race. He is finished. He is moving on to other things. He is...
Looks like it's doing push me to jump.
Hold
on. Slash, not exclamation mark, I believe.
My brain is in command bot mode.
Yeah. Bots are hard, okay?
There we go. In 10 seconds, we can send you on over there. Yep, so doing push B to jump. Possum Morpheus is great. Really helpful for new players, by the way, if you have some questions. But yeah, otherwise, that's it for me.
Yeah, and also thanks to Crimson Avex for doing the restreaming, and Joe Fuzz doing tracking for us, because without those two, we would just talk about Magic the Gathering.
Absolutely. Big thanks to them. And big thanks to our runners. And in the meanwhile, have a good one, y'all.